A record in programming terms is very simply a collection of data that has some form of common link that is made up of variables with lots of different data types. Think about when you log into your school or college network. You will need a username and a password. But behind the scenes, every time you log in, you may also want to record the computer ID you logged in on, the number of login attempts you made, the date of your last login, your access level, and your user ID. All this information would be stored as a collection of records for each login at your school or college and may look like the information in this table. Every record is in essence a row in the table and represents an individual piece of data about a user logging into the network. Individual items within a record are called fields and are the same as elements in a 2D array. A simple way to store records is to save them as text files. The advantage is that these text files do not take a lot of memory. The disadvantage is that all these data items are stored as strings. We would need to cast them in our program code into the correct data type. Therefore, we have the same problem as using arrays. We need to be able to deal with different data types. We have used data types such as string, integer, and float. These data types are inbuilt and available to us. In some programming languages, we can create our own data types. Pascal and C# refer to these as structs. A custom data type could be defined in pseudocode like this. The important line is this. This says we are creating a new data type called login. To create a new record using this login data type, we can write the following. Note that the order of the data between the brackets must match the order of the data items in the record. You could then write the other records as follows. If we were storing data in a text file, you would still need to cast the data into the correct data type to store it in a custom data type. The advantage of custom data types is once you've created them, you can use them across your program and only have to do the casting once. Python does not support the use of custom data types though. A database management system is a software program designed to store data in an ordered way. When writing a program that wants to be able to store and access large quantities of data, it is better to store the data in a database rather than a simple text file. Data is stored in tables. A row in a database is called a record and describes the collection of properties. A single piece of data in a record is a field. Tables will usually have a column with some form of ID that is a primary key, a column which allows you to tell all rows apart. Each property must have a data type, and they are slightly different in the database world to how they are in the programming world. The records we've been looking at this lesson might be stored in a table in a database management system like this. We can connect to a database using code and send or retrieve data from it. To be able to do this though, we need to learn something called Structured Query Language, or SQL. So, records are collections of data types that have something in common. They are used to describe something. A field is an individual item in a record. This is like an element in an array. Records will usually have lots of variables of different data types. Records can be stored in text files, but these will all be stored as a string and will need to be cast. They can be stored as custom data types, but not all languages support them. A record could be stored in a database table. A table is a collection of records. Database data types are not all the same as programming data types.